Right now we are in the Philadelphia Mausoleum of Contemporary Art, and we are putting together an exhibit of apocalyptic art, followed by a presentation about why there are so many apocalyptic ideas in our culture, and followed by a movie screening.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen, I think something is happening.
There was a National Geographic survey at the beginning of the year, and they found that 27% of Americans thought that the Mayan prophecy was likely to happen, at some level of likeliness. And so that's 27%. That's a lot of people, several million. So yeah, that would be about 80 million people. I think humans need apocalyptic stories for the same reasons that they need utopian models. Models for how, not seeking a utopia perfection, but models for reorganizing their society, models for building a sustainable civilization. No, it's not a bleak show at all. In fact, my book has actually an optimistic ending because I take it literally that there is the possibility for a beginning, but that we would have to sort of re-theorize what our ideologies are and how we understand what we should be doing on our planet collectively and individually.
We got some huge pieces. We got some animation, some more pieces that looked kind of like Japanese animation. We got sculptures. I actually got a great sculpture that's a huge iron black hole made out of letters. It's like, which I think represents the virtual apocalypse. While it's bleak, and for some it may be bleak because it's scary, but there's also an element of the sublime behind these apocalyptic memes. So every time that we see something sublime, like vast cosmic landscape or something like that, we're awed by it, but we're also terrified by it. But I think that sense of the sublime for me is what makes these apocalyptic ideas so enthralling and appealing, and I'm trying to capture that in the event. So it's kind of a little bit of fun, awe-inspiring, but also serious with the kind of stuff we're talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna get your money for you. But if you don't get the President of the United States on that phone, you know what's gonna happen to you?
What?
You're gonna have to answer to the Coca-Cola company.
The apocalypse meme, let's say in the last 40 years, has mutated dramatically. 40 years ago, or let's say 50 years ago, the Cuban Missile Crisis was happening. So the great apocalyptic meme was the fear of total nuclear wipeout. So we would have films like Dr. Strangelove's How I Learned to Love the Bomb, or Failsafe, or Planet of the Apes, or any of those movies that warned us, don't push the button, it'll wipe us out. The new warning is it's an ecological-based one. And so we've had about 40 years of that building up, ever since, I guess, the rise of the contemporary environmental movement in the 1950s and 60s. So we've had 50 years of the ecological warning developing and permeating our society in all the different documentaries, most notably Al Gore's Inconvenient Truth.
We have to act together.
I think that in one sense it's just sheer entertainment, and we can laugh at them, we can sort of mock them. We can look at the old apocalyptic films in the 50s and go, oh, look at that, there's Vincent Price doing this, or there's the alien coming down to warn us or whatever. But I think we owe it to ourselves also to try to look at the deeper side of it and say, well, what are they really saying? What are these ideas really saying? And do they have any coherence or meaning for us today?
Your impatience is quite understandable. I'm impatient with stupidity. My people have learned to live without it. I'm afraid my people haven't. I'm very sorry. I wish it were otherwise.